Hey guys, let's do a recap on my video, Whoa, Rents in New York. Hey guys, it's your boy Carl coming back at you. And let's talk about the video, Whoa, Rents in New York. If you look at the title of my page, it's Carl in the Philippines. What I was doing was basically comparing prices in America to prices in the Philippines. Now, this is for tourists. This is not comparing local Filipinos to what they would buy, because their rents would be equivalent to the prices in New York. Especially when you are averaging about maybe 25,000 pesos a month, if you're lucky. So you figure that if you're paying 25,000, you're making 25,000 and you're paying 10,000 for a house in the Philippines, that's about a third. Actually, it's a little over a third of what you make on your monthly salary. And you haven't factored in your electric, your water, your drinking water, your internet if you want internet, your phone service, because everybody there has cell phones and they buy loads. Because I'm under the impression that you don't have services like here, like T-Mobile, AT&T, et cetera, stuff like that. So you're factoring that if you want it. So factor all those in. You're basically living like anybody here in America. You're living paycheck to paycheck. That's what Whoa, Rents in New York was basically to do. And it was also to come back at a lot of these expats that everybody watches over there. They have 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100,000 followers that watch, and they do these budget videos that come back and say, well, to live comfortably in the Philippines, you need to make like $2,500 a month in retirement. You know what? I'm going to come back and say to you guys, that's utter bullshit. I did a video back, how can you live on $300 a month? You know what? Realistically, you can't. Because that $300 a month that I keep putting out there is the cost of your living expenses. Not food, not transportation, not a phone service. Nothing like that. That is just the rent, internet, garbage, water. That's it. That's not covering health insurances if you have to have a health insurance. That's not covering any other expenses that occur. So this is why I'm coming back at you and following up on the video, because I've gotten people that come back and said, well, then, New York is made for people, you shouldn't live there because they don't have the money. I understand that. Apparently, I must have the money to afford it, to live in the New York area, because I'm supporting my wife and kids in the Philippines, and I'm still living here. So apparently, I must do okay to survive. So let's get that out of the whole situation, because everyone just keeps coming back and they say stuff that they have no clue about. Yes, New York is probably one of the most expensive places. California's even more. If I want to move to Iowa, I could probably get, everything for a half of what I'm paying. I've never done research in Iowa to see what the cost of living there is. But my whole point of view was I just getting tired of people telling you if you make $1,300 on Social Security, that really not a good idea to move to the Philippines. You're not going to be on $1,300 and you're living here, you're not going to afford it. And I got news for people. Well, if you go down to Florida, it's cheaper. No, it's not. Go to Texas. It's not much cheaper. Florida and Texas are not much cheaper. I have a friend that's living in Texas. I have a friend that lives in Florida. And both would attest that it is not much cheaper. Yes, you're not paying $2,500 a month for an apartment. But if you're making, $1,300, $1,500, you're paying about $1,100 for a 2-bedroom. So if you're making $15,000, it's leaving you $400 a month. Especially if you are retired and on Social Security. My friend that lives in Texas, I believe her rent when she first went there was about $700 for a 1-bedroom. And I think she said the last time, because they're looking for a new place, I think she's up to like $1,000. And she's been there in that place for, I want to say, 5 years. Yeah, it's not a big increase, but if you're on disability, that leaves you with $500 a month or Social Security. This is what I'm trying to point out. You go listen to these expat vloggers. Yeah, you want a nice condo to live in. 2,500 pesos a month. Let's just do a quick little math, so you guys get the grasp of that. 25,000 pesos a month divided by, right now, if you go to the bank and you send money to, your loved ones over there, they're getting about 56 pesos per dollar. But let's get it straight. Even if you were there and you were cashing in U.S. money, you ain't getting what the actual rate is. If it's saying, if you go on a site and look and it says, oh, it's 58 pesos, they're taking $1 plus a little extra off. So you're talking $446 a month for a $2,500, $25,000 peso. Wow. I'm just a little aggravated because people don't grasp the understanding of why I'm being sarcastic with the last couple videos I put up. You're paying basically $450 a month in just rent. That's not including your water. Maybe in the condo that's including water. That might not be including electric. If it is, okay, you're lucky. But that's definitely not including your internet. But if you are, it's probably a fee that's added onto the bill. And it's not including the key thing that every one of these vloggers tell you about. They don't tell you about the cost of water. Water varies. It runs from anywhere from, I believe it's a jerry can. I don't know if that's 5 gallons or 5 liters of water. Varies anywhere from where a person's buying it as a store where they're probably paying 20 pesos and they're reselling it for 25 to 30 pesos to you. So you got to figure that in. And I hate to tell you this. I know with me, I drink water. I like a lot of water. I try not to drink soda anymore. The only time I really drink soda is when I'm down in the Philippines. But I don't up here. So if I was drinking the water, I go through, we'll go American value. I probably go through at least 2 gallons of water a day. At least. So if that jerry can is 5 gallons, that means every third day I'm buying another one because I'm basically I'm done with a gallon left of it. So that gallon you're buying, if you drink 2 gallons, you're drinking another. You got to get another one to have 2 gallons for the day. So at 25 pesos, and you figure every 3 days you're buying another one. So there's 7 days in the week. You're buying what, 4 of them? Because every 3 days is two jerry cans. So you're buying 4. That's another 100 pesos. Yes. Oh my God, it's 100 pesos. It's $2 basically. But you know what? You're living on a fixed budget. It adds up. And for them, they never incorporate that into their budgets. They come back and they talk about how, oh, this and that. But then yet, if you look at a lot of these guys, they're leaving the Philippines. You know, they're going Thailand, Cambodia, and they're all talking about the Philippines is getting more and more expensive. Well, yeah, it's getting a little bit more expensive, but it doesn't compare to America. And my point again, why I'm doing this video, it is not to tell people don't go. It's not to tell people to leave America. It was just a video showing the comparison in prices if you are a native citizen in both countries. You're both at the same expenses. That was the whole purpose of the videos. You know, I pay for my house in the Philippines with my wife. I pay $200 a month. We own the house. We bought it. We're paying it off. We own it. It's $200 a month. That's 10,000. I'm not living in, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Yes, if I go to Manhattan, I'm probably paying $4,000 for a studio. Why? Because you're in a tourist area. If I go to the Philippines and I go to Manila, Cebu, Davao, any of the big tourist areas, yeah, I'm paying 25, 30, 35,000 pesos for an apartment. Even if I go in from where I live to what they consider the walking street, or Fields Avenue, or what is it called, Red Street now, I'm about 20 minutes away. 20 minutes. It's not a big city. It's one block that everyone wants to go on because that's where all the clubs are and stuff. So, yeah, if I go there and I look in that area, yeah, I'm paying more because it's a more of a tourist area. Me, I live not in a tourist area, not really considered Providence, where, you know, your dirt roads and all this stuff, and I pay 10. If I was to probably move to more Providence area where you might be going down dirt roads, you know, like there's a couple guys that do it, and just to get to certain places, they're going down friggin' dirt roads, and the trikes are getting stuck in this, and the trikes, you don't see trikes all the way out there. So you definitely need a form of transportation. If I was to go there, I'd probably pay 3,500 pesos a month for a place. But this is what you take in account for, and this is where my rant about low rents came in. Because I'm just so tired of everyone sitting there telling you, you need this to really survive. You want to live really comfortably? Oh, yeah, $2,500, you're going to live very, very comfortable. You know, if you're making 3,000, you're living very comfortable. You know, if you happen to be one of these guys that are lucky and when they worked and with all their investments and stuff that they make 6,000 US dollars a month for retirement or for 401s and whatever, God, you're living like a king. Yeah, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But if you're the average guy, the average person that wants to retire in the Philippines and live there, where you're living off Social Security, you're making about anywhere between 1,300 and I'm gonna say maybe 17. So yes, you'd be able to afford it. Well, guys, this was my follow-up to that video. This was my rant about it. Thanks for watching. And, people want something to say, say it. You want to be sarcastic? Be sarcastic. It doesn't bother me because, you see, I don't reply to sarcastic things. And if you're being sarcastic, thanks for watching, because that means you're watching the video. Because there was a couple of sarcastics remarks put on that video. And you want to know what? Thanks for watching. So, yeah, I'm being sarcastic back to just a couple of people that have watched the video and commented. As they say, if you're being sarcastic and commenting, you're watching the video. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thumbs up to you. But, guys, on the serious tip, watch the videos. Watch, the rents in New York. Yeah, it's very expensive. We all know that. I am not lying. But then also watch, how can you live on $300 a month? Because I do go into breaking down the other expenses. So please watch the videos. This was a longer video than I thought it was going to be. Guys, be safe. Like, subscribe, follow, comment. I really do appreciate it. Until I see you guys all again, thank you and have a great day.